Good evening, everyone. Before we begin, may I introduce to you the reporters for this day. Starting with yours truly, Lorraine Bonita for definition of a product and Maslow's hierarchy of needs, followed by Aubrey Malyari for the 3 types of products, then Michael Arinzol for the 3 levels of products. Afterwards is Samantha Mauricio for New Product Opportunity, next with John Ray Martsepe and Gian Calresuena for a partner report on New Product Development Process. Followed by Rosemary Victoria's Product Life Cycle, then Cinderella Faye Morales on Branding and Packaging, and lastly, James Baron Soon for Managing Product Lines and Green Marketing. Together, we are the Group 2 and we will be discussing the product strategy. So, first things first, what is a product? The first definition is that it is something produced, especially a commodity, but it can also be something like a service that is marketed or sold as a commodity. A product could also mean something resulting from or necessarily following from a set of conditions. Or in other words, itong definition B of a product refers to an output. But for this subject, of course, ang tinutukoy nating definition for product ay yung una, since we are talking about commodities or services that can be marketed. Pero, hindi natin gusto na simpleng product lang ito. Naturally, we want it to be good so that it may thrive in the long run. But it is only a good product if, first and foremost, it satisfies the needs and wants of the target market. This is actually the very purpose of a product. Secondly, it should solve problems innovatively, mapa-necessary problem man yan or just to promote convenience. Note the emphasis on innovatively kasi kung walang bago sa product mo and may market na dyan, kahit pa makakatulong sa kanila yan, they would hesitate to buy it since may mga nauna naman ng established brands for the same value. Next, a good product has focused value. The lesson here is that even if your product may only do a few things, nevertheless, it does it very well. Meaning, pag may focus yung product mo, may guide ka na on how to improve your product on that path, giving it an edge over other products in the same market. Tumatagal rin ang isang good product, and it doesn't change in value delivery. Siyempre, great products don't fall apart or break down repeatedly. Kaya nga, marami ang nagda-doubt sa made in China na cheap products, di ba? Maski ang Sinovac, mababa rin ang trust rate, since most of China products nga ay may history na mababa ang quality. Also, like an IE, a good product is efficient in value to resource ratio. Kung super complicated ng features ng product mo pero simple lang ang purpose nito, it is not efficient. For example, you make cars, tapos ang price nito ay higher than average dahil sa extra feature ng seat warmers. Ang kaso, yung market mo ay sa tropical countries. So it is not efficient since mahal na nga, wala pang use yung seat warmers in a warm climate. So walang bibili nito. Lastly, it serves as expression of the user. Some products are purchased not for its utility value, but as a reflection of the status of the consumer. For some, kahit hindi siya nagsosolve ng problem, kinokonsume pa rin siya as a way to express yourself. This is highly seen in fashion products, tulad ng ripped jeans. It serves no purpose, pero may mga tao pa rin na trip ang ganong style, so they will buy it. Pero bago makagawa ng good product, kailangan munang sagutin ng mga marketers itong dalawang fundamental questions in order to be guided in making their products. Una, who are my target market or customers? Bata ba, matanda, Filipinos, commuters, blind people? Following this, the second question to ask is, what are their needs and wants? Kailangan ba nila ng safer toys? Gusto ba nila ng mas portable gadget? Do they need a convenient clothing? These types of questions. From here, you can now make a product strategy. But is it really important? Hindi ba pwedeng idiretso market ko na to since tingin ko naman talagang papatok ang product ko? Definitely, no. Product strategy is essential since it serves three main valuable business purposes. Firstly, it provides clarity for your company. Your team will be in a better position to deliver their best work when you draft and communicate a clear and well thought out strategy for your organization. Halimbawa, maiintindihan ng developers mo kung paano nakatulong yung paggawa ng product parts in contributing to the company's strategic goals. Mas madadalian din ang marketing and sales team mo sa pag-communicate ng product benefits and unique selling proposition nito. Also, mas maintindihan rin ng customer support team mo yung mga cases ng product usage at mas makaka-provide sila ng better support sa mga reklamo ng customers. Second, it helps you prioritize your product roadmap. When you start with a strategy, you have a clearer picture of what you hope to accomplish with your product and translate it into a more strategically sound product roadmap. Para na rin maiwasan mo ang pag-prioritize ng maling items and consequently misuse your limited time and resources. And lastly, it improves your team's tactical or short-term decisions. Kung may product strategy ka, you can make smarter tactical decisions about adjusting your plans, especially pag nawalan ka bigla ng resources or biglang lumiko yung plano, or kailangan mong baguhin ang estimated timetables mo. Now, let us move on with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I'm sure familiar na tayong lahat dito. It was Abraham Maslow who wrote in his 1943 paper, A Theory of Human Motivation, the most famous motivation model, which consists of 5 levels of human needs, often depicted as hierarchical levels within a pyramid. Simply put, there are 5 levels of needs. From bottom to top, etong mga needs ay physiological. Dito yung food, water, warmth, rest, all basic things needed for survival. Next level naman ay safety needs. Dito yung security in job, financial, safety, health, all things na nagsisiguro ng control and order. Third level is love and belonging needs. Sa level na to, the need for emotional relationships drives human behavior like friendship, family, love, sexual intimacy, whatnot. The keyword here is social needs. Fourth is esteem needs, where there is a need for appreciation and respect. People need to sense that they are valued, so dito papasok yung mga personal and professional accomplishments just to satisfy the esteem needs. Lastly, self-actualization naman ay tumutukoy sa full use and exploitation of talents, capabilities, and potentialities to reach the best you. So this includes the creative activities, extreme hobbies, travel, and the likes. Yung dalawa naman sa baba ang tinatawag na basic needs. Yung next two levels naman ang psychological needs at ang nasa top naman ay self-fulfillment needs. Originally, sinabi ni Maslow na kailangan muna masatisfy ng individuals ang lower level needs bago sila mag-move on sa next level needs. But eventually, he corrected himself, specifying that not all needs in each level need to be met before being able to work on the next. Instead, humans just need to feel a sense of the need being met before moving on to the upper levels. So for example, you are currently concerned with your safety needs, pero di mo kailangang lahat ng pasok dito na need ang masagot bago ka mag-work on sa belongingness and love. For a more specific example, kunwari, may bahay ka, maayos naman yung health mo, may trabaho ka rin, pero hindi mo pa rin ma-feel na can't help feeling na di ka secured financially. Well, it is normal for you to work on your social needs since you already met most of your safety needs and talaga namang mahirap iwasan na ma-conscious financially. Here are some examples of the needs per level. For physiological, we have air, food, and water. Safety needs naman yung finance, job security, health, and safe environment. For belongingness and love needs, there is friendship, intimacy, and receiving and giving affection. Para sa esteem needs naman, there is a desire for reputation, achievement, and respect. Lastly, for self-actualization, we have seeking personal growth like in enlightenment and also experiences. But why is understanding this hierarchy important to marketers? Short answer is, because you can connect with your customers if you appeal to their needs in a relevant, meaningful way. Importante para sa mga marketers na maintindihan nila ang ability nila to effectively appeal to at least one of the motivational drivers, since it is a determinant of your potential success. Ito yung magsisilbing parang guide sa inyo para masabing may sinasagot ngang want or needs ang inyong product. And this also gives you the opportunity to appeal to each need individually and to each customer looking to fulfill them. All businesses or products fall under at least one of these levels. Let's look at this diagram. On the left, you can see the relevant products falling under each level. For physiological, andito yung businesses ng water stations, mga nagbebenta ng food, mattresses. For safety needs naman, andito yung insurance, alarm systems, investments, among others. Dating apps and social media apps naman ginawa para tumugon sa belongingness and love needs natin. Ang mga nail salons or hair salons fall under esteem or self-actualization needs because it helps customers boost their self-esteem, but it also helps them see their full potential. And education products like Duolingo or Coursera and airline travel pwede for self-actualization because you're pushing for education or adventure fulfillment. On the right side naman, andito yung specific samples ng marketers bilang pagtugon sa bawat level sa hierarchy. Sa pinakababa, kung familiar kayo sa Yellow Cab Pizza, ang tagline nila is "We fuel the hungry." At ang goal ng advertisements nila ay to address our need for food. For the AIA PhilAm Life naman, their tagline is "Healthier, Longer, Better Lives." At advertisements nila pinapakita how safe and secured a person will be if they buy their insurance products. But not all products market in the same level as the need they are addressing. Tulad dito sa Nescafe. It is a drink and therefore nasa physiological need dapat to, di ba? Pero ang marketing strategy nila is to address the social need of people. Siguro naman familiar tayong lahat sa famous "Babangon Tayo" commercial nila, na nagpapakita ng ang Nescafe ay kasama nating mga tao, mapa farmer, driver, estudyante, or office worker man tayo. Ang Dove naman, they took an esteem need marketing style with their tagline, "Put your best face forward with Dove." At sinashowcase nila ang diverse types of women and empowering them. Last example ay yung Ford brand ng kotse. Gamit ang tagline na "Go Further" at mga travel commercials, they address the self-fulfillment need of people to explore and travel. So as you can see, kapag nagmamarket ng product, dapat i-make sure na i-market mo ito in a way that it convinces your customer that the product will fulfill their needs. And that's it for my topics. Next up is Aubrey Malyari.
Hello, I'm Aubrey Malyari and I will discuss the 3 types of product. So first, let's tackle what is product.
So product is defined as a thing produced by labor or effort or the result of an act or a process. So in general, any tangible or intangible goods or services that is a result of a process and that is intended for delivery to a customer or end user. So it says here that there are 3 types of product: the durables, non-durables, and services.
So the first one, durables. This type have a long interval between repeat purchases because of the long-lasting nature of the product. So basically from its name na durable, ito yung mga products na matagal nating nagagamit. Kaya hindi tayo nagre-repurchase agad ng panibagong items since matagal yung use neto sa atin. Kagaya neto ng mga cars or other electronics like TVs, computers, or laptops, or appliances like refrigerators and others. So for the second one, non-durables. This type have a stronger repeat purchases because the product is consumable. So basically for this one, for the non-durable, ito yung mga consumable goods or consumable products. Like our food, canned goods, ito yung mga mabilis na ko-consume within a short period of time. Unlike the durable one na kaya nating patagalin because that's for the long term, this one is for the short period of time. Example for these are foods, of course, yung mga canned goods, yung mga meat products na binibili natin, vegetables, fruits, and also included here is clothing and other like yung mga ginagamit natin sa bahay like detergents and others, basta yung goods na consumable within a short period of time. Lastly, for the services, this type is essentially intangible because there are no physical products involved. For this one, as we all know, ito yung mga binibigay nating products sa customers natin which doesn't have an intangible product or the physical product itself. So, syempre, ang mga examples nito are hospitals for the healthcare, schools, salons, spas, dentists, our fire department, and other services. So for just a quick recap and comparison of these three types of products, so for the first one, we have the durable. This is for the long period of time, nagagamit natin siya ng pangmatagalan. So for the non-durable, ito yung mga consumable goods. It is only for short period of time. Then for the services, ito yung wala kang physical product pero binibigay mo siya as a product for your customers. So that's all for my report, and I will introduce you the next reporter, which is Michael Arinzol.
3 levels of product. So there are 3 levels of product, namely formal, augmented, and core. So let's start with formal. When we say formal, ito yung pinaka-actual product. So for example, ang product natin ay air purifier. So ang formal nun is yung air purifier mismo. Then next is yung augmented. At yung mga extras na meron yung product. So sa air purifier, anong pwede niya maging extra ay, kunyari, magbibili mo siya, magbibigay sila ng free na, for example, 1 pack ng essential oil, or pag isa na parang free delivery, yun yung mga extras ng product, or also known as augmented. Next is the core. Yung core naman, ito yung pinaka-purpose mismo or benefit ng product, kung bakit siya ginawa. So, sa air purifier, ang pinaka-purpose niya diba is to sanitize the air. Parang i-purify yung air, mismo sa pangalan na. So, yun yung core. Customer-oriented product framework. When we say customer-oriented product, ito yung business approach kung saan mas inuuna ng kumpanya yung needs ng consumer nila or customers kaysa sa needs ng sarili nilang business. Dito naman sa ating customer-oriented product framework, pinapakita dito yung relationship ng company's differentiation sa importance of product attributes sa customers. Ang company's differentiation, ito yung ino-offer ng kumpanya yung customers nila ng mga product na kakaiba or distinct kumpara sa ino-offer ng competitors nila. While yung product attribute naman ay yung mga properties na nagde-describe sa isang product. So kung low yung importance ng product attribute tapos high yung differentiation, possible overkill siya. Kasi parang nakafocus ka na sa pag-improve ng product, hindi sa pag-alam kung ano ba talaga yung gusto or makakapag-satisfy sa customer mo. And kung low naman yung importance ng product attribute tapos low din yung differentiation, low priority lang siya. Kapag naman parehas sila high, maintain lang. Kasi since mataas yung importance ng product attribute sa customer, dapat mas mag-improve yung product mo kasi sa mga competitors mo para sa'yo sila bumili. At kung high naman yung importance ng product attribute sa customer, tapos low yung differentiation mo, kailangan mo na i-improve yung product para ma-meet yung needs ng customers. Or kailangan mo na mag-change gear. Pag sinabi natin change gear, ito yung technique kung saan mag-i-emphasize ka or i-emphasize mo yung mga major capabilities ng product kaysa sa lesser differentiated features nun or dun sa mga aspect ng product mo na di masyado naiiba sa competitors. 2 methods of satisfying customer needs. So first one is by product solving method. So ang ginagawa sa method na to ay aalamin ng certain company kung ano yung existing needs and wants ng mga consumers. Tapos, i-base nila yung gagawin nilang product sa needs and wants na yun. And the other one is creating the satisfaction method. Ito naman yung mag-introduce ka ng something new and unique sa customers mo para yung satisfaction nila sa isang product maging dissatisfaction. Well, although parang weird siya pakinggan kasi satisfied na sila. Bakit ka pagagawa ng something para ma-satisfy sila? Well, syempre ang main reason dito is para bumili sila sa'yo. So, ganito nangyayari yon. For example, yung consumer, meron siyang cellphone. Tapos satisfied na siya doon. Kasi kunyari, maganda yung camera, malakas yung signal, mabilis kapag naglalaro siya ng mobile games. So, ang gagawin mo, kunyari, product mo, cellphone din. Dapat, yung cellphone na ma-manufacture mo ay angat kaysa sa cellphone na meron yung consumer. Like, bukod sa maganda yung camera tapos mabilis yung signal, yung sayo, dadagdagan mo ng mas mataas na storage, mas mataas na battery capacity, or kung ano man pwede mo ma-improve para once na makita ng consumer na yon yung product na na-manufacture mo, madi-dissatisfy siya sa kung ano yung meron siya. Tapos, ang ending, bibili siya ng product mo para masatisfy siya. Quality. So, yung quality, malaki yung importance niya para mas dumami yung bumibili sa product mo. Kasi syempre, mas gugustuhin ng mga consumers na bumili ng product na maganda yung quality. Yung quality, hindi lang siya nasusukat sa product. Nasusukat din siya kung na-meet mo ba yung expectation ng customers at kung nasatisfy mo needs nila, pati na rin sa way ng pagbebenta ng product. Kung nirespeto mo ba yung customers mo at tinatrato sila ng maayos. Kagaya nga ng sabi dito, quality is doing the right thing, doing it the right way, doing it right the first time, and doing it on time. Attributes that signal quality. So, meron siyang dalawa. Intrinsic cues, pati extrinsic cues. Yung intrinsic cues, ito yung physical composition ng product. Like for example, sa pagkain, ito yung flavor ng pagkain, color, kung gaano siya kapait, or kung gaano siya katamis. While sa extrinsic naman, ito yung product related, pero hindi mismong part ng physical product. Like for example, brand name, price, tapos yung warranty ng product. Cost of quality and non-quality. Since yung quality ay merong indirect beneficial impact sa cost, while yung market share ay merong negative impact sa cost, yung product quality at market share, kino-complement nila yung isa't isa. So, paano nga ba nalalaman kung ano yung quality cost at non-quality cost? Yung quality cost, meron siyang dalawang parts. Yung prevention cost at appraisal cost. Yung prevention cost, ito yung mga ginagawa ng company para maiwasan na magkaroon ng mga defects sa product nila. While yung appraisal cost naman, yung mga defects na nakikita kapag nagka-quality control inspection or gumagawa ng mga test sa mga product. Yung non-quality cost naman, meron ding dalawa. Direct at indirect cost. Yung direct cost, ito yung mga defects na nangyayari sa loob ng kumpanya at yung umabot sa customers. While yung indirect cost naman is yung dissatisfaction ng customers o yung pagkasira ng reputasyon ng kumpanya. Lookalike products. So, pag sinabi natin lookalike products, ito yung mga product na halos magkamukha pero magkaiba ng brand. Sa panahon ngayon, mas napapadali na yung pag-imitate ng mga ganitong product dahil sa umuusbong na teknolohiya. At ang purpose ng mga product na to or ng mga lookalike products na to ay para ma-confuse yung mga consumers, lalo na yung mga nagmamadali, para mabili yung product nila. Kasi since magkamukha yung product at sa pagmamadali ng consumers, iisipin nila na yun yung brand na lagi nilang pinibili. At ang common target ng mga lookalike products na to ay yung mga sikat na manufacturers. Kasi sila yung maraming consumers, so mas malaki yung chance nila na makabenta. At yung picture mo na to, ito yung mga sample ng lookalike products. So mapapansin nyo na kung hindi mo talaga titignan na maigi, aakalain mo talaga na sila yung actual product na lagi mong binibili. International Organization for Standardization or ISO. Yung ISO, sila yung nagsiset ng standards sa mga companies. Yung standards na to ay makakatulong para masigurado na yung product at services na ino-offer ng company ay safe, reliable, at maganda yung quality. Tumutulong din ito para mas gawing efficient yung manufacturing process ng company. And once na yung company mo ay registered sa ISO, mas tataas yung credibility ng product mo at company, pati na rin yung efficiency sa pag-manufacture ng mga products. So that's all for my report. The next topic will be discussed by our next reporter.
Hi everyone, this is Samantha Mauricio and I will be discussing new product opportunity. So for new product opportunity, the first question that the business owners ask themselves is, what product should be launched in the marketplace? And in this case, we are looking for internally generated growth opportunities wherein new products must either be related to existing market, such as having new, improved features, new technology, or new brands and even new market. On the diagram, you will see we have product development and market development. For product development, this focuses on introducing new products to an existing market. And on the other side, the market development focuses on entering a new market using existing products. And if we're able to launch new product to an existing market and new market to an existing product, we're going to have a market penetration wherein this focuses on increasing sales of existing products to an existing market and even entering a new market with the introduction of new products. So, dito makikita kung paano nag-penetrate or nagtutunggali yung new product and even the existing product to an existing and new market. Next, 3 questions that must be asked before a major opportunity to be considered for adoption for product or market. First, can it add value to either the business unit or the corporation as a whole? So, tinatanong dito kung ano bang magiging value or kung ano ba yung maidadagdag na value ng new product sa business unit. And next, can the benefit outweigh the cost? Meaning, can it be profitable? And last, can it have significant competitive advantage? So, ano nga bang magiging advantage ng new product against their competitors? Next, we have new product development. In new product development, we have 2 factors that we need to consider. Number 1 is internal and number 2 is external. For internal, these are the company's objectives and resources. And for external, these are the customer's needs and wants. So first, for internal company's objectives and resources, satisfying company's need is the push portion of the new product development, because new products are introduced to satisfy the company's needs by identifying relevant customers' needs and wants. And it utilizes existing facilities more effectively, requiring lower capital investment and lower risk. So, when we say satisfying company's need, these are the things that includes their business plan, for them to see kung ano ba yung magiging value ng new product, or ano ba yung magiging profit nila when it comes to that new product for them to push in its launch. Okay? And this company-based strategy where the business reaches the point for growth and seeks out for additional options to generate more profit is also known as company expansion. Next, we have external customers' needs and wants. Satisfying customers' needs and wants is the full portion of new product development, because new products are introduced by identifying and then satisfying customers' needs and wants. And this needs to expand or acquire new facilities which will entail higher capital investment and higher risk. So when we say satisfying customers' needs and wants, first we have to identify kung ano ba yung needs and wants ng ating target market. And then after that, we have to look for ways to satisfy their own needs and wants when it comes to the products that we are actually launching or producing. And customer-based strategy, also known as diversification, this focuses on entering a new market with the introduction of new products. Now, new product development program is needed for three purposes. First is to effectively respond to changing customers' needs and wants. So we all know naman na nag-iiba yung needs and wants ng ating customers. Therefore, in order for us to respond or makakip up sa nagbabagong needs and wants ng ating customer or ng ating target market, we have to develop a new product for them. Next is to effectively respond or preempt competitors and other threats fast. So when it comes to new product development, we are actually looking for new advantage that we can compete against our competitors. And last is to effectively respond to company's expansion plan. So if we are looking to expand our own company or the business owner is looking to expand their company, therefore they have to launch new product to their existing market or even using their existing product to a new market para makakip up sila sa pag-expand when it comes to the demand ng ating consumers and even the demand of their own company when it comes to a return of investment. Okay? Next, marketing strategy formulation must begin outside of the firm so that the business is constantly focused on marketing opportunities. In order to do this, environmental analysis and assumption that can predict demand should be done. So when we say environmental analysis and assumptions for product development, mas maganda tong ginagawa outside of the firm or outside of the company because mas makikita natin kung ano ba yung nangyayari when it comes to the marketplace. Makikita natin yung needs and wants ng customer. Makikita natin kung ano ba yung effective marketing strategy for us to be distinctive when it comes to our own product. And it also makes the business owners think outside of the box. So, and the factors that we need to consider when it comes to environmental analysis and assumption for product development is first, customer's lifestyle. Dito papasok kung paano ba namumuhay yung ating target market. Second is competition. Ano ba yung pwede natin gawin para maging unique or authentic yung pag-launch natin ng bagong product against our competitors. Third is government. Ano ba yung magiging take ng political or ng government when it comes to the product that we are launching. Next is macro and microeconomics. When we say macro and microeconomics, sa micro, these are the internal factors such as customers, suppliers, and even competitors. And in macro environment, these are the external factors such as political, social, and economic lifestyle of our marketplace. Next is technology. When we say technology, dito natin makikita kung paano ba tayo makaka-keep up sa pag-advance ng technology when it comes to our product. I-market ba natin yung product natin using social medias, using online platforms such as Lazada, Shopee. These are the things that we need to consider when it comes to product development. Next is social forces. When we say social forces, these are the forces that involves attitudes and shared beliefs of the population. And last is raw materials cost, availability, and limitation. When we are launching a new product, we have to consider kung magkano ba yung magagastos natin sa raw materials, gaano ba siya ka-available, and what would be its limitation.
To summarize, the importance of new product development is to provide new value to the customer. Without this, there is no reason for them to trade their money for new goods or services.
Good day everyone, my name is John Raymart C. Sepe, reporting about new product innovation and services development. Una, alamin muna natin kung ano ang new product development. New product development is the process of bringing a new product to the market. Meron tong 4 factors kung bakit nagkakaroon ng new product development. Una, changing customer needs or preferences. Siyempre, hindi naman lagi constant ang gusto ng tao. Madalas dyan pabago-bago talaga. Increase competition. Halimbawa, sa isang market na ganito, may titinda ng sapatos. Sa kabila naman, meron naman sapatos na umiilaw. Siyempre, nagkakaroon ng competition sa loob ng isang market. So, kailangan talaga ng development. Advances of technology. Sa advances of technology, nilalagay lang to sa ibang mga product. Especially, halimbawa, sa cellphone. Yung una, yung cellphone natin, hindi pa yan touchscreen. Ang naabutan ko nun yung di keypad pa. Tapos, years by, naging touchscreen na, nagkaroon na ng front cam, tapos dumami ng mga apps na pwede ilagay, lumaki yung storage. Ayun yung advances in technology. Tapos yung new opportunities naman, syempre, once na new product or develop product, mas mabenta sa tao. The first step in new product innovation and services development is idea generations. Sa idea generations, dito nagsisimula ang lahat. Nag-brainstorming sila ng mga possible development ng isang product. Tapos kung iyon ba ay makatotohanan o hindi. Madalas ang mga idea dito, sinasagot lang nito kung nasa-satisfied pa ba yung customer sa product natin, or maangatan ba natin yung kompetensya natin sa product na ganito, or any feedback mula sa consumer na gumamit ng product. The next step is idea evaluation. Siyempre, maraming idea ang papasok doon ng pag-upgrade ng new product or lalagyan ng development ng ganito. Magkakaroon tayo ng filtering. Yung sinasabi, yung sa filtering, ine-evaluate doon kung ano ba yung mga possible at impossible na pwedeng ilagay sa product. Inaalam din dito yung kung ano ba yung papatok sa market or kung ano ba yung mga kailangan ng consumers. The next is concept definition. Sa concept definitions, considering specifications such as technical feasibility, product design, and market potential. Siyempre, na-evaluate na natin na pwede nga i-upgrade yung product sa ganito. Sa concept definition naman, dito na papasok kung eto ba, possible ba to, mabenta ba to sa market pag ganito yung ginawa. At kung naangkop ba yung specifications na ganito at modifications sa product. The next one is strategic analysis. Ano nga ba yung strategic analysis? Strategic analysis refers to a process of conducting research on any company and its operating environment to formulate a strategy. Dito na yung company gumagawa ng strategy plan na gawa ng mga managers para makuha nila kung ano yung goal nila to innovate their product.
So after business or strategic analysis, meron pa tayong last na 4 stages in new product development process, which are product or prototype development, market testing, commercialization, and lastly, product launch. But before properly developing the prototype, meron tayong process called product briefing, which is ina-assure na profitable or advantageous yung product natin for the company. Yung product briefing, sinasagot niya yung questions such as, what is its value to your customer? Does your idea solve a problem or provide a clear benefit? Is there a demand for it? Or will the company actually implement it? After doing this process and approve na yung product mo, you will then develop the prototype that will undergo the product prototype testing para ma-ensure na yung product mo ay gumagana, safe to use, at madaling mo obrahin ng mga customer. Pero if ever na, for instance, magkaroon ng scarcity or tumaas yung mga presyo ng mga raw materials, there will be this process called product or formulation na mag-change ng ibang raw materials. And if mag-pass yung product mo sa prototype testing, we will undergo market testing para ma-modify natin yung product or yung service depende sa feedback ng customer, manufacturer, or yung support organizations. In market testing, there are 3 main steps that you should do. First, show an early version of your product to customers and refine it based on the feedback. And pangalawa, maghanap ng focus group na magsasabi sa iyo kung anong gusto nila sa product mo. And lastly is magbigay ng questionnaires to a bigger sample to know what they want. If mag-pass ang product natin sa lahat ng test, then we will start planning the introduction of our new product. This is called commercialization. We will decide when, how, and where will the launch be. When, kung kailan dapat natin i-launch yung product. How, yung market strategy natin sa pag-launch ng product. And where, kung saan lugar natin dapat i-prioritize na i-launch yung product.
Good day everyone, I am Rosemary Victoria and I am about to report the product life cycle. The term product life cycle refers to the length of time a product is introduced to consumers into the market until it is removed from the shelves. So as consumers, we buy millions of products every year, and just like us, these products have a life cycle. Older, long-established products eventually become less popular, while in contrast, the demand for new, more modern goods usually increases quite rapidly after they are launched. Because most companies understand the product life cycle stages and that the products they sell all have a limited lifespan, the majority of them will invest heavily in new product development in order to make sure that their businesses continue to grow. The concept of product life cycle helps inform business decision-making from pricing and promotion to expansion or cost-cutting. Ginagamit ang concept na ito ng isang management and marketing professionals as a factor para makapag-decide sila when it is appropriate to increase advertising, reduce their prices, expand their new markets, or redesign their packaging. Next, newer, more successful products push older ones out of the market. Dito, it is what usually happens kapag ang isang product ay hindi na-withstand ang kanyang competitor na napuprovide ng mas bago and innovative na product. So to keep your product in track, developing new products and anticipating future market developments must be considered. Product life cycle also shows the process where both the customers and suppliers change their behavior while interacting in the market. So dito madalas nangyayari ang bargains and offers. What is needed to improve or change in the product, or if the supplier still meets the demand of their consumer. An industry does not have a product life cycle and neither do brands. It is the various products, forms, or products categories within the industry that have life cycle. So it only means na hindi porkat na-phase out ang isang model ng brand ay phase out na rin yung mismong brand or industry. Dahil yung mismong product or model type lang naman ang possible na malaos pinakasabay sa changes and product developments. In product life cycle, we also have what we call the product growth cycle, in which 3 problem-solving stages are included. It is very important for marketers to know the process that customers go through before purchasing. They cannot rely upon rebuys and word of mouth all the time, adding new customers. The customer in general goes through problem recognition, information search, evaluation, purchase decision, and post-purchase evaluation. The first one is extensive problem solving. It is the purchase decision making in a situation in which the buyer has no information, experience about the products, services, and suppliers. As a result, the purchase process involves significant effort on part of the consumer. Some examples of these are jewelry, electronic goods, real estate and property, etc. In limited problem solving, on the other hand, the consumer is aware of brands and also of the various criteria used to evaluate the product or service offering, but he is unaware of the new brands that have been introduced. As a result, the purchase process is more of a recurring purchase and it only involves a moderate effort on part of the consumer. Example of this is a laptop replacing a desktop. The last one is the routine problem solving, in which the consumer is aware of both the decision criteria as well as the various brands available. As a result, the purchase process involves no effort on part of the consumer. It is simple and the process is completed quickly. Purchases made habit. Example of these are staples, cold drinks, stationery, and etc. For the main part of my report, here are the 4 stages of product life cycle. First one is the introduction, where substantial investment in advertising and a marketing campaign is introduced. Second, growth, an increase in production and expansion in its availability. Third, maturity, the most profitable stage, while the cost of producing and marketing decline. And the last one, the decline stage, the product may lose market share and begin its decline. So how does it work? A product begins with an idea, and within the confines of modern business, it isn't likely to go further until it undergoes research and development and is found to be feasible and potentially profitable. At that point, the product is produced, marketed, and rolled out. So the first one is introduction stage. This stage of the cycle could be the most expensive for a company launching a new product. The size of the market for the product is small, which means sales are low, although they will be increasing. On the other hand, the cost of things like research and development, consumer testing, marketing needed to launch the product can be very high, especially if it's a competitive sector. The growth stage, it is typically characterized by a strong growth in sales and profits, and because the company can start to benefit from economies of scale in production, the profit margins as well as the overall amount of profit will increase. This makes it possible for businesses to invest more money in promotional activity to maximize the potential of this growth stage. Next is the maturity stage. During this stage, the product is established and the aim for the manufacturer is now to maintain the market share they have built up. This is probably the most competitive time for most products and businesses. Needed to invest wisely in any market undertake. They also need to consider any product modifications or improvements to the production process which might give them a competitive advantage. For the decline stage, eventually the market for a product will start to shrink, and this is what's known as the decline stage. This shrinkage could be due to the market becoming saturated. For example, all the customers who will buy the product have already purchased it, or because customers are switching to a different type of product. While this decline may be inevitable, it may still be possible for companies to make some profit by switching to less expensive production and methods and cheaper markets.
So now, let's talk about branding. According to American Marketing Association, brand is a name, term, sign, symbol, or design, or a combination of them intended to identify the goods and services of one seller or group of sellers and to differentiate them from those of other sellers. In other words, branding is a marketing practice of creating a name, symbol, or design that identifies and differentiates a product from other products. It is about getting your prospects to see you as the only one that provides a solution to their problem. There are 3 reasons why brand exists. One of it is for identification. It is all the tangible elements that create a visual, auditory, and olfactory brand identity. Example of this is brand logo, color palette, marketing materials, letterhead, signage, and messaging. It makes the product instantly recognizable to the customers. People will associate your brand identity with your product or service, and that identity is what forges the connection between you and your customers, build customers' loyalty, and determine how your customers will perceive your brand. Next reason is for protection. Brand protection is the process of protecting the intellectual property or IP of companies and their associated brands against counterfeiters, copyright pirates, and infringers of other types of IP, such as patents, design rights, color mark, and trade dress. It helps in preventing brand abuse. Brand abuse is generally referring to an attempt to exploit the reputation of a third-party brand for profit, personal benefit, or with any malicious intent. Forms of brand abuse are the imitations or the look-alikes, counterfeits, and replica products. Copyright infringements or the copyrighted work is reproduced, distributed, performed, publicly displayed, or made into a derivative work without the permission of the copyright owner. The design infringing products and piracy. Trademark squatting, basically when you register a trademark merely to sell it for a profit later to someone who actually wants to use it. Brand impersonation, when someone uses a trademark or logo to create the impression that they are associated with or endorsed by a company. It is a form of intellectual property infringement and it can result in costly legal action against the party responsible. Lastly, the rogue websites, where it used the identifying features of a brand to market counterfeit merchandise. These sites target users favorable to the brand. Brand protection is not just to protect the loss of revenue from a company, but also to protect a company's image, reputation, and overall value. The last reason is for positioning. Brand positioning refers to how a company differs from its competitors and where or how it is perceived by customers. It is directly linked to consumer loyalty, consumer-based brand equity, and the willingness to purchase the brand. Brands make its products or services perceived as favorable, different, and credible in consumers' minds. There are 6 criteria for choosing a brand name. First is that if the brand name is distinctive, since a brand name should be catchy and stand out in a crowd. The best brand name has the presence of a proper noun. Next is the pronounceability of the brand name. It should also be considered if the name is easy to pronounce so that the customers will not feel ignorant while reading it. Next is the legal requirements. If we are thinking about a brand name, we should do some research to see if it's already in use by other companies, as you could be sued if you copy another company's name. Next is the word association. It should also be considered the meaning of the words or phrase you use if it is connected with what you offer. Next is memorability. Memorability is one of the critical elements in creating a new brand. It can be helpful if it is a beautiful sounding name and if the name has a contextual meaning. And lastly, the limitation. So now, let's define the product concept. Product concept refers to the new product idea. It states that customers or consumers prefer product which is of the highest quality, performance, and features. The company can give identity to the product and can add functional value and usability so that the intended customers can derive this benefit and eventually buy the product in the market. One example of it is the Apple company. Apple is one company which works highly on product concept to get the best products to their consumers. Their products are believed to be of very high quality, with unique features and excellent performance, because they work to obtain the best product to meet the demands of their customers. Customers are drawn to Apple products as a result of this, creating a marketing pool. So let's now define the brand concept. Brand concept is the abstract meaning or idea that gives a product its sense of self. It gives consistency to a brand's identity since it consists of the core ideas behind a company's branding that pull together its purpose and goals. It also reflects a general meaning or image associated with the brand. A brand concept is about how a brand makes you feel, which becomes the base to build an entire brand and marketing strategy. There are 3 brand concepts. First is the functional needs. It is where the consumers are motivated to search for products that solve or prevent consumption-related problems. This is also the most tangible and obvious of the three main types of customer needs. It typically evaluates potential solutions based on whether they'll help them achieve a particular task or function. The product or service that best addresses their functional need is likely to be the one they purchase or hire. An example of it is when a brand produces a product just to satisfy the basic needs of the consumer. Next is the symbolic needs. It involves desires for products that fulfill internally generated needs for self-enhancement, role position, group membership, or ego identification. Brand produces products depending on how the people will buy it wants to be perceived by others when using a product or service. It is often more difficult for a company to identify since it varies substantially from customer to customer. Example of it is when company produces high-tech or things with advanced features. Third is the experiential needs. It is a desires for products that provide sensory pleasure, variety, and or cognitive stimulation. It is like the symbolic needs, but this type of need refers to how a customer wants to feel. Example of it is if they just use the products for hobbies, they might opt to something basic, but if their hobbies or activities reminds them of some memories, they might consider a brand that evoke the nostalgia. Let us now jump to brand equity. Brand equity refers to the value of a brand and is determined by consumers' perception of the brand. Brand equity can be positive or negative. It is a phrase used in the marketing industry which describes the value of having a well-known brand name based on the idea that the owner of a well-known brand name can generate more money from products with that brand name than from products with a less well-known name, as consumers believe that a product with a well-known name is better than products with less well-known names. Brand equity is the added value in a particular name. There are three importance of brand equity. First of it is companies can charge a premium for products with lots of positive brand equity. Second is that positive brand equity can be transferred to a different product line, which in turn increases sales and revenues for the company. And lastly, positive brand equity increases market share as the brand is widely known, recognized, and preferred by consumers. Let us now talk about the packaging. Packaging is the silent salesman in the store. It is because the product's packaging is the first thing a customer sees when they browse the shelves at supermarkets. The aesthetic of the product's packaging matters. Packaging works as a silent salesman because consumers make psychological connections. Packaging is divided into two. First is the unit packs. It is the silent salesman in the store since it is the first tie, wrap, or container of an item. The second is the outer packs. Outer packs protect the unit packs. It is the packaging that forms the outer protection of a composite or combination packaging and includes any absorbent material, cushioning, and other components used to contain or protect inner receptacles or inner packaging. In unit packs, we have the performance requirements. In factory, we consider if the unit packaging is convenient for filling, sealing, and stamping, while we also think if it will be destroyed or if it will be altered to quality and specification. Like in factories, we also consider the convenience and limitations in homes, whether if the packaging is easy to open, and limitations like the capacity of shelves that will accommodate the package and if the package should be reused or destroyed. We consider the protection in space in transit, whether if it is breakable or flammable, and also if it can fit comfortably and efficiently. In store, we only consider the protection it can give if the consumers can destroy and risk the safety of the product. Since there are performance requirements for unit packs, we might consider the materials used in making packaging. That's why there are criteria for that. One is protection. Packaging's main role is protecting the product inside. It will be futile and a waste if we choose packaging materials that cannot protect the goods well. Second is the display value. We should consider if the packaging can add value and help this product stand out. Third is the cost. We should consider what will be the cost of the packaging and weigh if the materials are cost effective. Fourth is the convenience. We should think if the product should be easily opened by the consumers. And lastly, the size. Since without considering it, there will be an excess material in production and waste. Let's now define the packaging design brief. Packaging design brief is a valuable document that provides an overview of the design request from the client to its agency and should be used by companies of all sizes. This is important since it allows for a collaborative process and a smooth transition to the final packaging design. Packaging brief document contents are overall objective, performance objectives, rationale, timetable, and the primary target competition and market. Packaging labels are labels that are applied to packaging to indicate the contents, product specifications, contact details, health and safety warnings and guidelines for use, and any additional marketing, branding, or pricing information that applies to the product. There are 5 steps in label development process. First is the initial design of the label. Next is the consumer test, also known as product testing, where the measuring of the properties or performance of materials takes place. Third is the final design of the label. Fourth is the proofing, where it's a process of making hard copy or electronic facsimiles of the design for seeing before printing and for early, intermediate, or final approval. And lastly, the delivery and quality check.
Under managing product line, we will discuss 2 matrices. First is the Boston Consulting Group matrix. The Boston Consulting Group matrix was founded by Bruce Henderson in the mid-1960s. It is used to analyze strategic business unit or product lines from a corporation by plotting in a 2x2 matrix called the BSIE grid to know where to allocate extra resources, invest in, or divest. It is also used to make an investment decision on a corporate level. So, ano nga ba ang corporate level strategy? Management must not only consider how to gain competitive advantage in each of line of businesses the firm or the corporation is operating in, but also which businesses they should be in the first place. Makikita natin dito na ang BCG matrix ay may malaking halaga sa isang corporation to know what are their strengths, weaknesses, and what they could improve. There are 2 factors that used to plot business unit in the BCG grid. These 2 are company competitiveness and market attractiveness. Under company competitiveness is relative market share, and under market attractiveness is market growth rate. So, unahin natin ang relative market share. Emphasis natin dito is on the word relative since it compares the market share ng company versus its largest competitors. An increase in the relative market share means an increase in cash generation. This is because a firm that produces more benefits from higher economies of scale and experience curve, which results in higher profits. Next one is market growth rate. High market growth rate equals the demand is growing rapidly. It opens door to company to grow as well. However, it is needed to have more investments and assets to increase capacity and marketing to grow market share. Dahil paano mo nga naman mapapalago ang iyong business or corporation kung walang pumapasok na pera dito bukod sa kita nito? Originally, a market growth rate of 10% was used as a cut-off point to indicate whether an industry had a high or low growth rate, but this can vary. There are 4 quadrants in a BCG grid na dapat alam natin bago gumamit ng BCG matrix. First, the question mark. Second, the star. Third, cash cow. And the fourth is dog. Isa-isahin natin i-discuss ano nga ba ang mga ito. First is question mark. As the name suggests, it's not known if they will become a star or drop into the dog quadrant. These products often require significant investment to push them into the star quadrant. Second, star product. This can be the market leader, though require ongoing investment to sustain. They generate more ROI or return of investment than the other product categories. Third, or the cash cow, or as the name suggests, the ones that are milked to generate more cash without killing the cow or the product. Lastly, dogs. They are not worth investing in because they generate low or negative cash returns. Kadalasang maririnig natin sa marketing advice ay tanggalin ng mga dogs sa ating product portfolio. So, paano nga ba nagagamit ang BCG matrix? There are 5 steps on using the BCG matrix. Step 1, choose the unit. BCG matrix can be used to analyze SBUs, separate brands, products, or a firm as a unit itself. Which unit will be chosen will have an impact on the whole analysis. Step 2 is we define the market. Defining the market is one of the most important things to do in this analysis. This is because incorrectly defined market may lead to full classification. Sinasabi lang dito na we need to define the market of a product or SB correctly. For example, if we analyze the car Toyota Vios sa luxury vehicle market, siya ay magiging dog. But if we analyze it sa daily passenger vehicle market, maaaring isang star or cash cow dito sa market na ito. Step 3 is we need to calculate the relative market share. Relative market share can be calculated in terms of revenue or market share. It is calculated by dividing your own brand's market share by the market share of your largest competitor in that industry. Relative market share is given on x-axis. Top left corner is set at 1, midpoint at 0.5, and top right corner at 0. Step 4, find the market growth rate. The industry or the market growth rate can be found in the industry report, which are usually readily available online for free. Market growth rate is measured in percentage terms. The midpoint of the y-axis is usually set at 10% growth rate, but this may vary. Step 5, draw the circles in the matrix. You should do this by drawing a circle for each brand. The size of the circle should correspond to the proportion of the business revenue generated by the brand. So here's an example of a BCG matrix. Si Company A daw ay may 4 na product, namely Product 1, Product 2, Product 3, and Product 4. Sa example na to, given na ang mga market share ng competitors, since it's readily available naman, and market growth ay nakalagay na rin dyan. Ang Product 1 ay may revenue na 500,000 pesos with a market share of 25%. Then makikita natin na sa market share ng competitor ay may market share din na 25 din. So sa example na to, ang kukuhain na lang natin ay ang relative market share. Para makuha ang relative market share, we need to divide our product's market share to the competitors. So 25% divided by 25% gives us 1. We will repeat the same process with the other products, and then after that, we can plot the BCG matrix. After getting all the necessary details, pwede na nating i-plot ito sa ating BCG matrix. Makikita natin ang product 1 ay nagpo-fall as a cash cow. Since siya ay may high revenue sa low market growth, so mataas ang kanyang market share. And we can see that the product 3 starts with mataas ang market share niya and mataas din ang market growth niya. The other matrix na i-discuss natin is the General Electric McKinsey matrix or the GE matrix. GE McKinsey matrix or GE matrix is a strategy tool that offers a systematic approach for the multi-business corporation to prioritize its investments among its business units. It is also a framework that evaluates its business portfolio, provides further strategic implications, and helps to prioritize the investments needed for each business unit. General Electric and McKinsey and Company took the BCG grid a step ahead further with their market attractiveness and business strength matrix. So here is an example of a GE matrix. We can see that there are 3 colors, which are green, yellow, and red. Sa green, business strength is strong and the market attractiveness is high, which means the company should grow the business or the product. Sa yellow naman, business strength and market attractiveness are both medium. So the best thing to do is hold the business or the product as it is. While sa red naman, business strength or market attractiveness are both low. So the best thing for the company to do is they should either liquidate or divest the product. So paano nga ba gamitin ang GE matrix? Here's an example. So step 1, identify muna natin ang factors under market attractiveness. So for this example, ang factors sa market attractiveness ay as follows. Una, market growth rate, market size, market profitability, market structure, trend of price, and market segmentation. Step 2, identify din natin ang factors for business strength. And these factors are market share, relative growth rate, company's profitability, brand value, VRIO resources, and CPM score. Step 3, we need to break down the factors. We need to break down or weigh down the factors which needs to have a total of 100% or 1. Nirank natin sila according to their importance with 0.01 or 1% as not important and 1.0 or 100% as most important. Dito makikita natin na nirank natin ang market growth as 0.25, market size as 0.22, market profitability as 0.18, and so on. Dito, nakita naman natin na ang market share ay ginrida natin as 0.22, relative growth rate at 0.18, company's profitability at 0.14, and so on. Step 4, we rank the factors. We rank the strength or attractiveness with the help of the table given, with 1 as extremely unattractive or extremely not strong, and 5 as extremely attractive or extremely strong. Dito, ginamit natin ang market attractiveness as an example kung paano mag-rate. So, sa market growth rate, ginamit natin siya as 3, market size as 3 also, market profitability as 5, and so on. Ganon din ang gagawin sa business strength. Step 5, we need to get the weighted average. We can get the average by multiplying the weight of the factors to their corresponding rating. For example, makikita natin na ang market growth rate ay merong weight na 0.25 or 25% at may rating na 3. So if we multiply 0.25 to 3, we can get a weighted score of 0.75. At ganoon din ang gagawin sa iba pang factors. Just like in the example sa market attractiveness, ganoon din ang gagawin natin sa factors sa business trend. Example ulit natin, itong market share na may weight na 0.22 or 22% at may rating na 2. So if we multiply 0.22 sa 2, we can get a weighted score of 0.44. After getting all the necessary details, ay pwede na natin silang iplot sa ating GE matrix. Each business unit ay represented as circles, just like sa BCG matrix. And tulad din sa BCG matrix, ang size ng bilog ay corresponding sa revenue na generate ito. For example, 10% ang na-generate na revenue ng business 1 and 20% naman sa business 2. Therefore, the size of the circle sa business 1 ay half the size na sa business 2. Our next topic is green marketing. So, ano nga ba ang green marketing? Green marketing is the one that focuses on environment, product, and quality as it relates to quality of life. Green products naman ay mga produkto na may less na harmful impact sa ating environment at sa consumer. Here are some of the popular green trends. First is global warming. Second is acid. Third is ozone depletion. Fourth is water pollution. 5 is air pollution. And lastly, overpackaging. So ano nga ba ang action ng mga businesses to follow on green marketing? There are 2 action plans, namely voluntary and involuntary action plans. Voluntary action plans means manufacturers can adopt environment-friendly products, packages, and processes. Consumer can write to their favorite consumer good companies and tell them how they expect them to be more friendly. In voluntary action plans, government can enact laws that require strict compliance to environment sustainability. Organizations can adopt policies where they will give preference to companies with ISO 14000 or buy from suppliers passing the green standards. Filipinos can also start providing young children with better awareness early on.